Hey guys, it is T with TarlaMakayev.com. It's a little bit gloomy here today. I wanted to give you a view while I went over a few things with you. I just saw my EMDR therapist, and she's a psychologist. We were talking about my panic attack that I had last week, and I wanted to kind of share with you some things she shared with me. First of all, you can have panic attacks but not have panic disorder. So I actually have panic disorder. So that means that for me in particular, panic attacks can be brought on really for no specific reason. There doesn't have to be a trigger. There's some misinformation going around, and I know people have told me, well, you have to know what your trigger is. In my case, because I have panic disorder, there doesn't actually need to be a trigger. There can be or there can't be. You can literally be asleep, wake up, and have a panic attack. So it's not necessarily triggered by anything. But here are some of the signs of a panic attack. So basically, it's an abrupt surge of intense or, like I said, intense discomfort that reaches a peak within minutes. And during that time, there are several symptoms that occur. There are palpitations, pounding heart or accelerated heart rate, there's sweating, there's trembling or shaking, there's sensations of shortness of breath or smothering, feelings of choking, chest pain or discomfort, nausea or abdominal stress, feeling dizzy, unsteady, lightheaded or faint, chills or heat sensations, paresthesia, I think. It's numbness or tingling sensations, derealization, which is feelings of unreality, or depersonalization, which is being detached from yourself, fear of losing control or going crazy, or fear of dying. So I had the chest pain, I had the dizziness, I had the numbness, and I had kind of a feeling of going crazy a little bit. So much fun, isn't it? So, basically, I have panic disorder. The first time I ever had a panic attack, I was 32. I had everything in my life was going amazing. I was making tons of money. I had an expensive house. I had a great boyfriend. I had a mother who was healthy at the time. I had no problems that should have been causing me to have panic attacks. So it's something, I guess, biochemical for me, unfortunately. So there's an anxiety scale. She copied this out of 2 books for me, so I'm going to recommend the books to you. The one book is called it's cut off. Anxiety Disorder. I don't know what the book's called exactly. And then the other book, hold on one second, is Anxiety and Phobia Workbook, but I felt like there was a third book here. Oh, and then another book is called Coping with Panic Attacks. So you might want to look into those 3 books if you deal with panic attacks. So there's an anxiety scale that goes from 0, which is considered obviously relaxation, to 7 to 10, which is a major panic attack. And so they go through all the symptoms there. But basically, there are some coping strategies to counteract panic attack at an early stage. Now, somebody from a group was saying, oh no, once it's biochemical, it's fight or flight. Once it happens, there's nothing you can do to control it. That's actually not true, although this is very hard to achieve. But here are some ideas if you suffer from panic disorder. The first one is to retreat. So if you're feeling phobic, you simply exit the situation until your anxiety subsides. So if, like, they're talking about a trap door here. So wherever you are, there's a place where you can exit. If you're in a line at a grocery store, you can obviously just set your groceries aside and leave the grocery store. If you are even on a bridge, you can pull over, put the flashers on your car. If you're on a freeway, you can find the nearest exit. There's always a way to kind of get away and stop and get away from your wherever you are. So you kind of have like a retreat. So that is one of the steps. I'm just going over this quickly because there's a lot to tell here and I won't have time. I have an appointment. Another one is you could talk to another person to kind of get your mind off of your panic, whether, again, even if you're at the grocery store, you could be talking to a stranger. It doesn't matter whom. You can move around or engage in physical activity. So obviously that's, taking a walk, going on your bicycle somewhere, jogging, swimming, like whatever kind of physical activity you can think of. Then there's staying in the present. So kind of whatever moment you're in, if you're like in a grocery store, you can just like notice the people around you and just pay attention to your environment. If you're driving, you can focus on the other cars in front of you. You can do whatever you can to kind of stay in the present moment and distract yourself and just see what's around you. You can also engage in a simple repetitive activity. So that's anything from unwrapping and chewing a piece of gum to counting backwards from 100, to counting the number again of people in line at the grocery store, counting the amount of money in your wallet. While you're driving, you can count the number of red cars you see. You can feel the sharp edge of a key or the edges of a comb. You can snap a rubber band against your wrist. You can place a wet towel on your face or take a cold shower. You can sing. You can also do something that requires focused concentration, like solving a puzzle, reading a good novel, knitting or sewing. You can engage in board games, play a musical instrument, paint, or play with clay. Here's an interesting one I found. You can express anger. So basically they're saying anger and anxiety are incompatible reactions. You can't experience both at the same time. They are saying that a lot of clients have found that symptoms of anxiety and panic are a stand-in for deeper lying feelings of anger, frustration, or rage. And so you can express anger physically onto an object, not talk about it, but express it. So you can pound a pillow on your bed with both fists. You can scream into a pillow or in your car alone with the windows rolled up. Hit a punching bag, chop wood, throw a dozen eggs into the bathtub. They're saying because that can wash away easily. Just do anything. Like there's a place that I've been called a rage room, which is really cool, but obviously if you're in the middle of having a panic attack, you're not going to be near one, so that's not going to be the easiest thing. They're saying that this is kind of a last resort because they don't want you to be struggling against the panic, which is never a good idea, but it's a matter of transmuting the energy behind the fear into another emotion, which in this case would be anger. You can experience something immediately pleasurable. So, cuddle with your spouse, have a great snack or meal like cheese and crackers, something that's a complex carb, not junk food. Take a hot shower, relax in a hot bath. You can visualize a comforting person or scene. You can practice thought stopping, which is basically to take a deep breath and then you shout, stop it, get out. Obviously, if there's other people around, you don't want to do this around them because, they'll think you're going nuts. So you want to do it privately, but you can repeat that and then you can replace anxious thoughts with calming statements like this too will pass, I am calm and strong, anything like that. And let's see if there's more tips in here. I just thought this was helpful, so I wanted to share it with you. They did mention in here something about placing a cold washcloth over your face, and I had mentioned an ice pack, and I did do that, and it did help my anxiety a little, but not totally. You can practice abdominal breathing, which we all know is that deep breathing, because basically you're usually hyperventilating when you're having a panic attack. So you're trying to do the opposite. You can practice muscle relaxation, which is basically clenching your fists, holding for 10 seconds, releasing, or tightening different areas of your body, different muscles, again, tightening and then releasing. You can repeat positive coping statements. So basically, the negative self-talk in this case would be like, oh no, here it comes, I'm losing control, I can't stand this, what will others think if I lose it? And like replacing that with positive self-talk or like a coping statement would be, I can handle these symptoms, this is just anxiety, I'll let it pass, I can ride this through. So instead of an emotional reaction, then you're having like detachment and coping. So I just wanted to share this with you. I hope these were helpful. I actually have an appointment right now, but it's very frustrating. Like I've been going through neurofeedback, and so I just assumed like something like this wouldn't happen. And again, my therapist today, who's a psychologist, was explaining like, no, you have panic disorder. Like there's no cure for this, which I do know. Logically, but like the neurofeedback is working on the fight or flight in my brain. So maybe it's just going to help me with my generalized anxiety disorder, because my anxiety had been really better, and maybe it's not going to help me as much with panic disorder, which frankly really sucks because it's an investment. but you know, it's just something to learn to live with. It just kind of came out of nowhere, it felt like, and it was a little bit shocking. I could think of a couple triggers, but it kind of feels like it did almost feel like it came out of nowhere. So she said that's just the way that it is. So anyway, I hope these tips were helpful. If you suffer from this, you're not alone. Clearly, I'm with you there, and there are many, many other people. And, you know, the best we can do is just learn to cope. And really, unfortunately, like, it's coming to a point of acceptance. And, you know, I was, again, kind of shocked because I'm going through neurofeedback. I don't consider that it wasn't successful. It has helped my anxiety a lot. But for this to happen was, again, upsetting. So I guess it's a matter of accepting, you know, like, I've tried so many things that it just is what it is. Anyway, I hope this was helpful. I hope you have a great day, and we'll chat soon. Take care.